on, San Francisco? What the fuck? That was the lowest energy response. What's up, San Francisco? Thank you. That was so much better. You real humans. Okay, so I know, yep, when you look at me, you're thinking, that guy looks like Brown Seinfeld. What's the deal with the brown guy on the stage who's wearing a Christmas sweater that probably doesn't even believe in Christmas? What's the deal with that? Yeah, that's me. I'm also Muslim. So if I bomb this set, that was expected. I'm Muslim, I can say the truth. Jesus. I probably shouldn't say Jesus. My name is Zoheb. And can you imagine I grew up in South Carolina with a name like Zoheb? Really, yeah. And people there were named Billy Sue and Gene Bob, and they were cousins, and they were fucking, and we don't know which one's the male. No one had his name. And so it's weird because in South Carolina I got bullied a lot. My mom bullied the shit out of me. Okay? I came home with an A- on my tests, and my mom would just take off her chappal, and in our language, by the way, a chappal is our sandal, and she would just beat the shit out of me with it. I'm not joking, this actually happened. If I didn't get my lunch money taken away, I got my naan taken away. If you ever wanted to know what a B+ Indian body looked like, this is it. So, I left San Francisco, or I left South Carolina. I didn't leave San Francisco, I'm here. I moved to San Francisco, and it's been really great, but San Francisco is a very weird place. Do we have any natives here? San Francisco? You're a native?
Yeah.
You survived the great gentrification. So proud of you. But yeah, so it's a weird place, and recently I like to take Sundays off for me. A lot of people see it as God's day. I just define that as Zoheb's day. And I went to the park, and on this park day was a bright, sunny day. It was beautiful, green grass everywhere, okay? I'm sitting at like what I would define as the 50-yard line in a patch of green, and there's nobody else around me, okay? 50-yard line football reference for those of you that didn't get that. So I'm sitting there hanging out, I'm reading a book, I'm meditating, and I'm like, this is gonna be my day, it's gonna be amazing. And so I'm chilling, and then all of a sudden these two women walk up behind me and sit at the 49-yard line right behind me. And then they proceed to have this conversation, which I can't believe I actually heard. Sarah goes, oh my God, Becky, like, Brad totally doesn't get me off in bed right now. And he's like so on his head about it. Becky responds, oh my God, Derek doesn't get me off in bed either. We had to like get a sex toy to make it better. Sarah responds, I totally tried to get Brad to get a sex toy so we could do this, but like, he won't, he's so emasculated. Ugh. And I'm like, wow, this is the best meditation session I've ever had. And in this exact moment, I realized something. Holy shit. White men, my white men friends here, if you didn't know your white male privilege, in this exact moment, you should know one thing. You don't have to get your women off. You know what brown men had to do? We wrote the motherfucking Kama Sutra, okay? We had to write the Kama Sutra, and then I realized all of this in this moment, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I could probably help these women out. Now look at me, I don't look like a guy who's dated a lot or had a lot of sex. I have. I just don't look like it, okay? But I realized I need to help Sarah out, so I turn around and I'm like, yo, Sarah, position 237 from the Kama Sutra is for you. And she looks at me and she's like, what is it? And I'm like, I'm gonna show you, girl. So then I tell her, Sarah, you need to do this. You need to get on your back. You need to kick your legs up all the way in the air, like this, and be like this, okay? Then, you're gonna tell Brad. Now you would think Brad, by the way, the position's called the Garam Kana, AKA the hot lunch, just to be clear. You would think that Brad would be on this side, and you saw my legs are back this way, butt up this way, whatever. Nope, he's on this side, going down, all right? And I look at her, and I'm like, yo, it'll work. And she's like, will it work? And I'm like, no, you still need to get a vibrator. So I recently got a sty. Has anyone in here got a sty before?
In your eye?
Yeah, in my eye. So you know a pussy thing in your eyelid. It's kind of like having a pimple on your eyelid. But it's not like having a pimple, it's more like having herpes on your eyelid. Ooh, yeah, you were freaked out by that. You're like, no herpes on my eyelid. The reason it's like herpes is because styes always come back just like herpes, okay? And I want to be clear, I'm single, and to the single woman in the audience, I don't have herpes. I don't have herpes. I have eye herpes. So I got this dye, and I was like, this is really annoying, but to get rid of it, you're supposed to use warm compresses on your eye. Okay, so I've been using these warm wet cloths on my eyelid and just pressing it up against there. And then I read online that actually you should use tea on your eye. So for the past 3 weeks, I've just been teabagging myself over and over again. And I was like, I should really experiment here. So I started with oolong, because I had to get some of that Asian teabagging. And then I went to chai, because gotta get some of that brown teabagging. No? None of you like that? What the hell? Come on. And then I went to Earl Grey, because I had to get some of that black teabagging. That was like the culmination of it all. Wow, you guys are all so sensitive snowflakes. What the fuck? What the hell's wrong with everyone? Loosen up, drink some more, Jesus. Damn it, did Jesus again. All right, so I started traveling recently. I'm single, and so I started traveling, and I went to Colombia. And when I travel, one of the things that I like to do is, most people would like to sit on aisle or window seat. I like to sit middle seat, because there's always someone hitting on me. Yeah, that was the funniest joke I did. And so I went to Colombia, and I got there, and I got on Tinder because I was recently single, so I started swiping on Tinder like immediately. I was like, I gotta do this. And in 2 hours, I get 37 matches. 37. As a brown male in San Francisco, that's more than I get in 3 months. Okay? So I'm like, holy shit, this is Mecca. And to be clear, I'm Muslim. Mecca is super important to me. So you understand how important Mecca is? Mecca is like, for Christians, it's like going to maybe like Bethlehem. For Catholics, it's like the Vatican. And for Jews, it's like Neiman Marcus. So I get there, and I'm like talking, and me and this girl matched, and I'm talking to her, and she's like, hey, what's up? I'm like, hey, let's go for a drink. And she's like, Papi, you look good. I'm like, damn, a girl called me Papi. This is awesome. And then so I'm like, let's go for a drink. She's like, 100,000 pesos. And that's only $50 US, by the way. And I'm like, what? 100,000 pesos. And she's like, yo soy un escort. I'm like, yo soy Zoheb. And she's like, no, I am an escort. I'm like, oh. Okay. Oh. Needless to say, I came back to SF really fucking broke. That's my time, y'all. I'm Zoheb Virani.